if you want to learn the process to embodying and empowering the feminine spirit, then check out the book, Healing the Feminine Energy and the Wounds of Your Inner Child. What's up? So in this video, I'm going to be discussing 3 ways that women actually hate feminism, because, feminism does a trick on you. In the word feminism, in the beginning, it has fem. So the assumption upon hearing it is that it's immediately in favor of females. And even more crazily, you might even assume that it's for femininity. But feminism actually, again, is not for a woman expressing her femininity, which actually causes a lot of discomfort for many women who just see the surface level, right? They just see the surface expression and what the label says, and people say, oh, it's for equality and all of that stuff. But actually, when you look at the implications that it has on society, environment, communities, and so on, actually women don't like it because they're always complaining about the effects of feminism, not knowing that it's actually coming from feminism. So we're going to go through 3 examples of that in this video, and you're going to say, well, that's actually true, right? And I know this could potentially rub some people the wrong way, because in their head they have this egoic attachment to that social movement, and they feel like, well, if I don't support that movement, then I'm not being a woman who supports women, or I'm not being who I think I am, which is an activist for women's rights and so on. That's not what it is. I'm telling you that they're pulling the wool over your eyes, and they're not giving you the full picture of what it is. And much of what you're unhappy about in life actually does come from feminism. But let's get into it. Now, the first one. Well, as a woman, do you appreciate a man who is a gentleman? Do you appreciate a man of respect? Do you appreciate a man being chivalrous towards you? Do you appreciate a man wanting to get you flowers? Do you appreciate a man wanting to pull out your chair? Do you appreciate a man wanting to take you out and give you a nice experience? Do you appreciate a man who knows how to conduct himself in a traditional manner that is very respectful and gentlemanlike? Now, if you like a gentleman, then you can't say you're for feminism, because the tenets and the philosophies and the character of the gentleman is traditional. Feminism is not from traditionalism, so you cannot, you cannot like both. It's either you're on one side or the other. So if you like the idea of men being chivalrous, and you say, well, all of these men are not chivalrous today. The modern man is not chivalrous. These men don't even get you flowers. These men don't do that, blah, blah, blah. These men don't want to be whatever it is that you would say a gentleman or chivalry is. These men don't do that. Well, it makes sense, and I see women complaining about this all the time. But when you follow and abide by a social theory that does not encourage men to be masculine, does not encourage men to be traditional, because they're reacting to the modernity that is being programmed into women, and they're becoming the modern men, and you want a traditional man, well, it actually makes sense. It makes sense. So a lot of the time women are complaining, I want chivalry. These men today don't provide it. Well, that makes sense, because it comes from feminism's gender role reversal and not wanting to live by traditional values, which a gentleman does. The second thing is that women like the independent tag, but they don't like independent living. So women hate the idea of men being around and not being providers, not wanting to take charge and set plans and all of this stuff, right? But they will take the independent status and say, well, I'm an independent woman, because it goes back to what I said in the first part of this video, which is women a lot of the time, they're egoically attached. Their ego, their sense of self, the person who they think they are in their head, the role that they're playing is the woman who is strong, independent, fights for women's rights. So this is what they do. This is how they trick you. This is how society gets you. They get you to want to play the role by giving you more status and praise if you reach that role. So if you keep being that role, if you keep playing that label that they're giving you, they're basically, it's like a psychological manipulation. They're feeding you praise, they're feeding you credit, they're feeding you status by you living up to that thing. Do you get what I'm saying? It's actually kind of what women do to men. Like if you say to a man, hey, a real man does this. Because men want to be real men, they're more likely to copy whatever it is, as you said. So women actually take advantage of this themselves. They'll say, if you're a real man, you do this for a woman. And a man wants to be a real man. So he does the thing that you are saying makes him a real man, even if it doesn't make him a real man. That's what society is doing to women. They're saying, well, you can be a strong, independent woman, and that's what you want to be. So they then tell you what a strong and independent woman is because you want to keep living up to that title. But actually, women don't like being totally independent. They actually don't. Many women deep down would love a guy to take care of them. That's why you want a man who is more wealthy than you. You do not want a man. Let's say, for example, you go on a date. Most women, not all, but many women want a guy to pay. So you can't say you're independent, but the guy pays, because if you're independent, then the whole point of being independent is that you don't need him. Many girls say, well, of course the guy's supposed to front the bill when it comes to the rent, the mortgage, and all of this stuff. He's supposed to take on that responsibility. Well, most women want a man to take on more responsibility than them. They want a man to take on more risk. Now, if you want to be independent and whatever, you can't take less risk, or if anything, you can take more risk. And a lot of women who are independent, they attract men who are dependent, right? And they're very unhappy about that. So a woman has no problem getting with a man that makes more than her, and then he likes sharing his wealth with his women. But women don't want to do the same thing to men the other way around. So basically what it comes down to is women like the independent tag because they've been manipulated, but they don't actually like being totally independent. After a while, they're going to say it's exhausting, it's tiring. Oh my God, I have to keep doing things by myself. I have to be both the man and the woman. I have to take on both roles because no one else is here to do the masculine role. I would love to have more time for self-care, relaxation. I would love to not have to work so hard just to be comfortable, just to be fulfilled and content, and so on. So it stops women from being able to put themselves in a teamwork, cooperative mindset because they've been told, be dependent, which actually makes many of them unhappy. The third thing is that women don't like feminine men. So feminism obviously pushes role reversal and is all for encouraging even equality, which means that if your man is just equal to a woman, he's like a woman, he's a feminine man. So let's say, for example, it kind of goes back to what you were saying before. If a man said, hey, I want my woman to spoil me with flowers and chocolates, you would go, wait, that's weird. I'm the girl here. You're supposed to do that for me. But a lot of these guys today, because of role reversal, because of the energetic imbalance that is going on, you're seeing the rise of what I'm seeing women call the sassy boys. The sassy boys are on the rise, and women don't like these guys. They're like, wait, why are these guys more emotional than us? I mean, I'm a woman. I'm supposed to be the emotional one here. And he's out here crying as much as I'm crying. Wait, why are these men engaging in gossip online just as much as I am? Like, women hate when men gossip. When the baby, the rapper, right? The baby, when he was talking about smashing Megan Thee Stallion, women didn't respect that. Even though if a girl aired out the business, they would just see it as normal. But when a guy airs out his business and he kisses and tells, no woman likes that. So you see all of the comments were like, yeah, this is the new era of guys gossiping, kissing and telling. We don't respect them. And it makes sense because that's not really a manly thing to do, to be kissing and telling. So these traits that are feminine in men, although women say, oh, I want a guy like that, I want a guy like that, when they actually get it, they realize, wait, I don't want a guy like that. I don't want a guy who's as fearful as me. He can't protect me. I don't want a guy who's as emotional as me. He can't lead her. I don't want a guy who also wants to be spoiled just like I want to be spoiled. I want to be the one that's spoiled. I'm the woman. So women don't actually like feminine men. And a lot of the time they're complaining about these feminine traits in men. But that's actually what you get if you follow and allow the social theory that pushes role reversal to propagate. Now, I want you to comment down below what other ways that feminism actually goes against what women wants and makes them unhappy. So comment down below. I'll let Reemus know. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. More than any other time in human history, a restoration, a repair, a respect for the feminine energy is needed. And if you want to check out the process to healing the feminine energy, then you can check out the book, which is available digitally or in print form.